achieve in the next 3 days, particularly for the benefit of our viewing audience all across the country. The Convergence is designed to equip youth candidates with necessary tools for running effective and peaceful political campaigns. This conference is very unique in the sense that it's a platform specifically designed for youth candidates to build their competence, to build their network, to share experiences, and to advocate for greater representation and credible 2019 elections. Ultimately, this conference would equip our candidates with the right attitude and values to deliver the much-needed good governance and quality representation in Nigeria. As a result of the reduction of age limits in the Not Too Young to Run law, Nigeria is witnessing a new wave of competent and credible young women, young men aspiring to run in the 2019 elections with an agenda to provide innovative, transformative, and responsive leadership in the public sphere. These young men and women require skills and networks to actualize their political ambition. This conference, therefore, is designed to provide that platform to empower and equip them with these tools and ensure that they're connecting, they're networking, and are building political solidarity for effective organizing in 2019. So in the next 3 days, we're going to see keynote addresses, TED-style talks, masterclass workshops, and an array of elegant, intelligent, and experienced speakers that will be drawn from parliaments in Africa. Today, we've already had the pleasure of meeting Honorable Francesca and hearing from her. We would also have our friends from our development partners, people from the academics and civil society. The Not Too Young to Run movement expects that at the end of the conference, the youth candidates will demonstrate real capacity to undertake effective political campaigns using traditional and non-traditional tools. The representation of young men and women in the state and national parliament will increase. Additionally, this conference would establish a nationwide network of youth, both men and women candidates for solidarity and peer networking. Can we please give a round of applause again to this movement and what we've been able to accomplish by bringing you all here together? Thank you so much. Our next speaker is the country officer and head of Nigeria office at the Open Society Initiative for West Africa. He was the former manager for Forum of Federation, a network of promoting federal practices across the globe. He has provided cutting-edge analysis on democratic governance in Africa and developed advocacy resources for engagement of government and international community. He's an Eisenhower Fellow and a Fellow of the prestigious Stanford University Draper Hills Fellows Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Country Officer and Head of Nigeria Office of Open Society Initiative West Africa, OSIWA, Mr. Jude Ilo.
You can never trust technology, eh? That's why they say technology without human brain doesn't work. It's a big honor and pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I'm really excited. I love the energy in the room. And I know that what I see here today reassures me that as a country and as a people, we are going somewhere. I was told that I'm going to do a TED talk, a TED-style talk. And I told Samson, are you sure that this very busy audience who have a lot of stuff to do, campaigns to run, are interested in listening to stories? He said I should go ahead. So I'm going to speak to you this afternoon about the fact that leadership matters. Leadership counts. For the last 2 years in my house, there has been a running debate. A very, very difficult debate about whether or not my 7-year-old daughter will get a puppy. If you're a father, you understand that these debates are really very important. On one side is my wife, and the other side is my daughter. My wife argues that getting a puppy is essentially giving her an extra job, getting her an extra child. My 7-year-old daughter says, you know what? I can very well take care of a puppy. And we've been on this for 2 years. And believe me, we're not making progress. But I decided not to let my daughter in on a secret. When I was 7, I did not have a puppy. I had 2 dogs. That information is a problematic information for me because if she knows it, then it changes the coloration of the conversation, right? So, Justice and Bintu, my lovely dogs, when I was 7, they couldn't be more opposite. Bintu is that kind of dog that comes in the morning to welcome you and wake you up. That stays indoors when you ask her to stay indoors. That knows she needs to take her crap outside of the house and not inside of the house. That will bark at visitors, but when you tell her to stop, she stops. Justice, on the other side, was a rebel without a mission. He was a completely unmanageable dog. I can remember spending countless of hours looking for him. The slightest space in the gate, the dog is out. And the whole neighborhood know we're around when they hear us walking around shouting, justice, justice, oh, you people are home. He was that kind of dog. But, of course, what do? You will always notice the dynamics of their relationship. That Bintu makes an effort every moment to guide this little dog. You know, don't go outside, don't do that, don't climb on Udo's bed, and stuff like that. It never really worked. One very cold Harmattan morning, Justice kept on backing very early in the morning, relentlessly backing. And everybody was like, he has started again. And then we opened the door. He came in and started pulling my bedsheet. And of course, I was angry, I was upset at first, then I followed the dog outside. Justice led me to the bush outside of our house. Bintu had been hit by a car. She had 2 fractured legs, and she couldn't move. So we got there. Justice kept jumping up and down. We now carried Bintu back to the house. In the 1 week, Bintu was more or less bedridden. Justice never left her side. Justice never left the house. Justice will remind you when Bintu has taken a crap because she couldn't go outside. So Justice will come, shout, lead you to the crap, and then you take it out. He became a totally different dog. He took leadership at the moment it mattered most. Every human being, every living thing has a spark of leadership in them. It's just about realizing the moment where you have to step up. Thank God you guys have decided to step up. My daughter wanted a dog because she knows it's her responsibility. She could take care of that dog. The reality is simple. Every generation encounter their own crossroad. It takes sets of leaders to carry that generation from one point to another. There must be leadership. If not, we will all go in different directions. And I think the time has called on the young people